Probius plays weird. If you spent your hard-earned gold on this hero because it said ranged assassin and haha cute robot, only to wind up disappointed, I wouldn't blame you. His abilities are incredibly telegraphed, and half of them can be destroyed. Add on to that his low health pool and seemingly no damage. It's easy to shelve Probius for someone with a little more pop. In fact, you might forget Probe is in the game at all until one shows up, wrecks your lanes, and sends you back to the core. How did you do that? How'd you? Then, after getting thrashed by a non-combat drone, you pick him up, you dust him off, and you swear you will do to the next team what Probius just did to you. Maybe I'll just clear the lanes. Thankfully, he's good at that. Like, really good. Probius has the best wave clear in the game, doing massive damage to dumb, stationary, predictable targets, and it's free. More on that later. It's totally fine to play Wally as a brain-off siege machine, exploding minion waves and knocking down structures. That's how it starts. And if the enemy shows up to stop you, you can just zip away. Then one day you ask yourself the question that changes everything. What if when a bad guy shows up, instead of running away, I fought them? Well, what, you expect to be a killbot without a software update? The reason new players may have problems with Probius is because he does not play like a ranged assassin. He's another one of those heroes that should be reclassified as a support. To perform well on Probius, you need to understand two things. 1. You're a builder, not a fighter. This isn't Brood War. And 2. Stop trying to fight enemies in honorable battle. Don't immediately drop your spells where enemies are. Put all your stuff down on where the bad guys want to be. That's right, another hero that attacks a player's feet. The deliberate nature of Probius's kit means it's trivial to avoid his abilities. Gamers won't step in red circles, unless they're on your team. And photon cannons don't have legs. So what does this mean for Little Weebo? Well, if all your spells are deterrents or traps, then what you have is a hero that's great at taking and holding ground. Probius provides an island of safety for himself and his team. The longer a fight goes on in one area, the more dangerous the little robot becomes. Build your base where your opponents want to be and force them to take it from you. It's hard to attack when everywhere is wrong. Counter engagements is where Probius excels, which isn't to say he's only good on defense. Probius appropriately probes around the fight. Aw, look at the cute robot. What you doing, little guy? Oh, fuck! Robots can't ride horses. So to compensate, Probius is blessed with a permanent 10% move speed, increased to 70% for 5 seconds after pushing Z. Though any damage, any at all, will cut this extra move speed immediately. The obvious use of the boost is to save your scrap, but what if, crazy thought, you know how you want to put your stuff where the enemy wants to be? Where do they want to be when they're running for their lives? You will know pain. This really only works during a rout as a panicked enemy is a passive enemy. Should the other team stand and fight, you'll find out very quickly how fragile Probius is. This hero is not built for honorable battle. So what you want to do is you want to be forgotten, ignored, dismissed. And once you see that the enemy is focused on more dangerous heroes, you can stop playing tower defense and really do some damage. But I can't talk about Probe's kit without first talking about his trait. Pylons are a pivotal part of Probius's plans. Even though he starts the game with 100 more mana than other mana-using heroes, Probius has no passive regeneration. Outside of tapping in globes, the only way to regenerate mana is to stand within a pylon's power field. Boy, does it regenerate fast in there. As long as a pylon is up, you effectively have infinite resources. The downside is everyone knows this and is trying to break your stuff. But you can turn that in your favor. What a fun little minigame you're forcing them to play. A great waste of their time. 2 pylons can be up at once, and they provide vision within their power field. Enemies can't sneak up on you if you know where they are. Put pylons in bushes. Put pylons around walls. Get clever with it. The 14-second cooldown would be an issue if enemy minions and heroes did not drop minerals on death, each one reducing the cooldown of pylons by 0.75 seconds. That is 5.25 seconds of cooldown reduction per full minion wave. Disruption Pulse is a 75 mana skill shot on a 3-second cooldown. Make sure to have a pylon up and running so you can keep spamming Q, because it might as well be Probius's auto attack. His right click is pitiful. Your time is far better spent dodging and throwing out pulses. Because of its short cooldown, decent range, and fast projectile speed, Disruption Pulse's damage can stack up over the course of a fight, and this ability interacts with Probius's other direct damage spell, Warp Rift. Costing a terrifying 150 mana, this area of effect spell puts a circle on the ground, which, after a short delay, will slow any enemy it touches by a quarter of their move speed. Yeah, how you like that? That's what I thought. Not that much of a deterrent, right? Oh yeah, 25% move debuff, scary. Well, that's not the whole deal. When the rift expires, it explodes, dealing 261 damage. That's great and all, but people will still walk out of the spell before it explodes. That's the point. Place warp rifts in areas you don't want enemies to go. Because it's so easy to dodge, they will, which means you have control over the enemy's movement. Coax them out of position into your allies' open arms. Or nudge them into the second warp rift. The spell has 2 charges. Then detonate the rift with Disruption Pulse. You don't need 3 seconds of foresight. Any rift near Probius is in danger of exploding at any moment. These deal quite a bit of damage and have a very short cooldown. That 150 mana cost is irrelevant as long as there's a pylon up. As for the activation time, you might think 1.25 seconds is too long to get any value from. Wrong! Arming warp rifts might feel like it takes forever because of its short range and you gotta slap it with a D-pulse. However, if you're familiar with our favorite fire mage, you'll find detonating rifts manually is as fast as casting Flame Strike.
Hello, my lord!
They wouldn't dare make a probe hero without the ability to spawn photon cannons. While you can't spam them to kneecap your opponent's economy, this ability still does a great job at punishing advances. Photon cannons deal 105 damage per second and last for 13 seconds. You do the math. The cannon is free and can be placed anywhere, though you get more bang for your buck if it's powered. A ramping up of attack speed and true sight. The cannon can block hostile abilities and eat tower shots, improving the survivability of Probe and his team. The targeting of the cannons is kinda whack. They prefer to shoot heroes, but they will latch on and focus whatever enters their range first and don't change targets until whatever they're shooting at dies. Funny prank, drop cannons in popular rotation paths to reveal and dismount enemy heroes. Pylon overcharge overcharges your pylons, wow, turning them into deadly lasers that attack enemy heroes for 8 seconds. These lasers have phenomenal range, which is good because they can't chase anyone. Wait for the enemy to commit to a fight, then push your free damage button, and hope they don't walk away. Nullgate isn't as cool as Pylon Overcharge, but with a 25-second cooldown is far more versatile. It might as well be another basic ability. While it doesn't deal much damage, enemies touching the gate are inflicted with a whopping 80% slow. Fantastic for guarding choke points or forcing players into your warp rifts. Gate is great for setting up picks and zoning. The hitbox is quite thin, so get used to placing it at weird angles. To play Probius effectively, you need to think like an architect and not a fighter, building the battlefield to suit your needs, manipulating enemy movement, encouraging them into positions they don't want to be, or punishing them for their insolence. Should the other team decide they have a problem with you, take a step back, have a breather, re-examine the fight, and once they've forgotten about you, remind them. You could say that every hero is best when they're ignored, but somehow none are so quickly forgotten as Probius. Maybe he's too cute, I don't know. Or he's not popular enough that people understand him. Sure, he's not as easy to pick up and play as some other heroes, but once you get used to this unconventional playstyle, you will have unmatched control over the battlefield. Beep boop. Thanks for watching. If you haven't made it this far and haven't subscribed yet, please, I beg you. Every little bit helps on our journey towards critical mass. If you enjoy the content and want to help the channel grow in a more substantive way, consider becoming a channel member on YouTube or a patron on Patreon. Thank you. Thank you. Also, if you want to play some HOTS but you're a little nervous about dipping your toes in, we have a Discord full of people more than happy to share their experience and knowledge. They're good people. Links all over the channel. That's all I have. Okay, bye! Pylon Overcharge is kind of a meme.